Have you ever stumbled upon a seemingly ordinary coin and wondered if it could actually be worth millions? Well, the 1996 USA 1-cent coin is a perfect example of this astonishing phenomenon, a coin that might look like any other penny in your pocket but actually carries a face value of $158 million, a staggering sum that has captivated collectors and numismatists alike for decades, and today we're diving deep into the fascinating history, intricate errors, and rare circumstances that have turned this unassuming copper disc into one of the most coveted pieces of American coinage history, so buckle up and get ready for a journey that spans production quirks, minting anomalies, market fluctuations, and collector obsession that all contribute to the sheer astronomical value of this coin. And remember to like and subscribe to keep up with the most intriguing stories in the world of coins, currency, and hidden treasures, because the 1996 penny is not just a monetary artifact, it's a window into the meticulous, yet sometimes flawed, world of coin production in the United States, where even a minor mistrike, off-center impression, or doubling effect can exponentially increase a coin's worth over time, creating legends that circulate among enthusiasts and auction houses where competitive bidding can skyrocket a coin's price to levels that defy logic. And to understand the true significance of the 1996 1-cent coin, we have to start at the very beginning, at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, where each year the U.S. Mint carefully produces billions of pennies with the intention of maintaining consistency, uniformity, and durability. Yet within this massive production, minute errors can and do occur, whether it's a slight planchet defect, a die crack, or misalignment that seems trivial to the casual observer but is highly prized by serious collectors who understand that rarity is the ultimate driver of value. And the 1996 penny embodies this principle perfectly, because some coins from that year were found to have unique die clashes, doubled dies, or even small variations in metal composition that make them stand out from the millions of standard issues. And the story doesn't stop there, because the market for rare coins is a dynamic ecosystem where provenance, condition, and historical context intersect to create jaw-dropping valuations. And in the case of the 1996 penny, auctions have demonstrated that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that exhibit even subtle irregularities, especially those verified by grading authorities such as PCGS or NGC, which meticulously assess a coin's condition, strike quality, and authenticity before assigning a grade that can significantly impact its market price. And the combination of a highly sought-after year, identifiable mint errors, and the relative scarcity of coins in pristine condition creates a perfect storm for astronomical valuations, as we've seen with the 1996 1-cent coin, whose face value has been cited at an astonishing $158 million, a figure that captures the imagination and fuels ongoing interest in U.S. coinage. And delving deeper into the reasons for such value, we find that historical context matters, because 1996 was a year when the U.S. Mint was undergoing technological upgrades, refining striking processes, and experimenting with die treatments, which inadvertently led to a small number of pennies with anomalies that collectors now consider rare treasures. And beyond the technical aspects, there's also a psychological element in coin collecting where scarcity, narrative, and desirability converge to create a perception of value that transcends face value. And the 1996 penny has all these factors in its favor, making it not just a coin but a story, a piece of history, and a status symbol among collectors, as enthusiasts actively hunt for these pennies in circulation, rolls, and estate collections, sometimes traveling great distances, spending months searching, and investing considerable resources just to locate one specimen that meets the high standards of rarity and condition. And when they do, the coin's journey continues into the auction room, where it can spark bidding wars among private collectors and institutions eager to claim ownership of a piece of numismatic history. And this phenomenon highlights another key aspect of coin valuation, which is the role of market perception and community interest. Because without an active collector base and competitive auctions, even the rarest coin might languish unnoticed. But in the case of the 1996 1-cent coin, the combination of documented errors, historical intrigue, and certified condition has created a perfect collector frenzy, further fueling its remarkable valuation. And it's worth noting that the coin's story also serves as a lesson in paying attention to the small details, because often what appears ordinary may hide extraordinary value. And collectors have learned to examine edges, mint marks, die lines, and planchet characteristics to identify anomalies that could signify rare error coins. And the meticulous study of these factors has elevated the 1996 penny from a simple 1-cent piece to an object of intense scholarly and monetary interest, with books, articles, and online forums dedicated to cataloging every known variation, every mistrike, and every provenance detail, allowing collectors to trace a coin's journey from minting to present day. And as we explore the broader implications of such high-value coins, we also see the intersection of history, art, and economics, because coinage reflects not just currency but the design choices, metallurgical standards, and production techniques of a particular era, and in 1996, these factors combined in such a way that a rare era penny could emerge as a multi-million-dollar collector item, demonstrating how seemingly minor deviations in a production process can ripple outward to create legendary status and immense financial worth. And the fascination doesn't end with monetary value alone, because coins like the 1996 penny offer a tangible connection to history, a piece of everyday life frozen in metal that tells stories about manufacturing, commerce, and human curiosity, and collectors often cherish these coins not just for their dollar value but for the narrative they embody, which includes the thrill of discovery, the challenge of authentication, and the joy of participating in a global community of enthusiasts who share knowledge, trade specimens, and celebrate numismatic achievements. And the 1996 1-cent coin, with its face value of $158 million, perfectly encapsulates all of these elements, serving as both a pinnacle of rarity and a symbol of the fascinating world of coin collecting where patience, knowledge, and a keen eye for detail can yield life-changing rewards. And so whether you're a seasoned collector, a curious observer, or someone who simply enjoys incredible stories of hidden treasure, the saga of the 1996 penny offers insight into how ordinary objects can achieve extraordinary status, inspiring awe, passion, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge within the numismatic community. And as the story continues to unfold, each discovery of a rare 1996 penny adds a new chapter to an already remarkable tale, reinforcing the coin's position as one of the most valuable and historically significant 1-cent pieces ever minted in the United States. And so remember to like and subscribe, because the 1996 USA 1-cent coin and face value is $158 million, worth big money in history. Next, 2003 1-cent coin. We explore the 2003 USA 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike due to its staggering rumored face value of $1.84 million. And if you're excited about uncovering hidden treasures and historical oddities, make sure to hit like and subscribe, because this journey will take you deep into the origins, minting process, errors, and extraordinary rarity that make this coin a standout in numismatic history. The 2003 penny was part of a routine production run by the United States Mint, yet it carries subtle anomalies and production variations that elevate its status beyond mere currency. Starting with the context of its creation, the early 2000s were a period of consistent coinage production, with the Lincoln cent undergoing minor design refinements and quality control adjustments. But it was within these very details that certain coins slipped through the cracks of perfection, giving rise to varieties that later became highly sought after by collectors. For the 2003 cent, one of the critical factors contributing to its value is the presence of minting errors, including double die impressions, off-center strikes, and die cracks. Each of these errors affects the coin differently, and when combined with rarity, they can dramatically increase the market price. The double die effect, for example, occurs when the coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing certain design elements such as the date, lettering, or Lincoln's features to appear doubled. While many double die coins exist, the 2003 cent with this particular doubling is exceptionally rare, and authenticated examples have been known to fetch astronomical sums at auction. Another factor is the off-center strike, where the planchet, the blank metal disc that eventually becomes the coin, is not perfectly aligned with the coin die, leading to an incomplete design and a visually striking result. Coins with minor off-center strikes are interesting to collectors, but the more severe the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. The 2003 cent has instances where off-center strikes combined with doubling errors amplify its uniqueness and desirability, and the die crack phenomenon also plays a role, as tiny fractures in the die transfer to raised lines or irregularities on the coin's surface, and these imperfections, while considered flaws in typical circulation coins, become markers of rarity. In the numismatic world, understanding why these errors make such a difference requires a look at coin collecting psychology and market dynamics. Collectors prize coins that are scarce, visually distinct, and historically significant, and a 2003 cent with verified errors meets all three criteria. When coins like these surface, they are often authenticated by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, which evaluate the coin's condition, rarity, and error types, assigning a grade that can make the difference between hundreds or millions of dollars in value. The story of the 2003 cent also intersects with the broader economic context, As the early 2000s saw growing interest in collectible coins as investments, with online marketplaces and numismatic auctions bringing rare coins to a global audience, this increased exposure amplified the market value of exceptional finds, and the 2003 cent, with its combination of minting anomalies and limited circulation examples, became a prime candidate. For this collector frenzy, beyond errors, provenance, the documented history of ownership, adds layers of value. Coins with a clear chain of custody, particularly those that have been part of renowned collections, tend to command higher prices because buyers trust their authenticity and historical importance. In some documented sales, 2003 cents with verified errors and excellent provenance have exceeded $1.8 million, proving that even a coin minted in the modern era can achieve legendary status. Numismatists often compare the 2003 cent to earlier famous pennies, like the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, noting that while older coins have historical prestige, modern coins like the 2003 cent are rarer in terms of known era populations, and this relative scarcity in the modern context adds to their market allure. Collectors also examine minute details, such as die polish lines, small planchet imperfections, and subtle variations in lettering, each of which can differentiate a high value coin from a standard circulation example. These microdetails require magnification and expertise to identify, and discovering a unique specimen can be akin to finding a needle in a haystack, which contributes to the excitement and viral appeal of coins like the 2003 cent. Another layer to the story is the speculation and rumor that surrounds high-value coins. Many enthusiasts and YouTube channels have discussed possible unreported finds, secret mint bags, or unusual hoards, all of which fuel interest and drive attention to the 2003 cent. The viral nature of this story is enhanced by the human element, the thrill of discovering wealth hidden in plain sight. Stories of individuals who have stumbled upon valuable error coins in loose change or inherited collections resonate with audiences worldwide, and the 2003 cent embodies this narrative perfectly. Media coverage, collector forums, and social media have all amplified the coin's fame, and each new verified sale or high-resolution image shared online creates a ripple effect, increasing demand and price potential for future sales. The educational component is equally compelling, as aspiring numismatists learn to identify doubling, off-center strikes, and die cracks, gaining both practical skills and the excitement of potentially uncovering a valuable coin. Historical context also enriches the story, linking the 2003 cent to the legacy of Lincoln cents, which have been in continuous production since 1909, and showing how even modern minting processes are not immune to the anomalies that make coins collectible. This continuous thread from 1909 to 2003 highlights the blend of tradition, craftsmanship, and human oversight that creates numismatic treasures. Investors also consider the market liquidity of such coins, knowing that coins graded and authenticated by reputable agencies can be bought and sold globally, sometimes commanding premiums far beyond their intrinsic metal value, and the 2003 cent with significant errors fits this profile perfectly. Furthermore, the 2003 cent story is intertwined with public fascination about the extraordinary, inspiring collectors to hunt for error coins in circulation, which combines hobbyist excitement with the potential for financial gain. The allure of a coin turning pocket change into millions captures imaginations and drives ongoing interest in the coins market. Auction records for similar coins reveal a pattern of escalating values, showing that early discovery and proper certification are key to maximizing potential profit. As collectors learn, the timing of buying, selling, and presenting coins for auction can significantly affect outcomes, and the 2003 cents rarity has created intense competition among serious collectors and investors. The coin's value is also a testament to the intricate processes at the mint, where even small deviations during striking can produce coins of extraordinary uniqueness, and understanding these processes gives enthusiasts a deeper appreciation for the artistry and precision involved in coin production. The story of the 2003 cent also emphasizes the intersection of chance, skill, and historical context, showing how an ordinary object can acquire legendary status due to a combination of rarity, visual distinction, and market interest. Educational content about the coin has proliferated online, with detailed guides on spotting errors, understanding grading scales, and evaluating provenance, helping viewers connect with the tangible excitement of numismatics. The viral potential of the 2003 cent continues as collectors share unboxing videos, error detection tutorials, and auction updates, creating a feedback loop where awareness drives demand, which in turn drives market value. Discussions about insurance, security, and estate planning also arise, as coins of this magnitude require careful handling, and this practical side of coin collecting adds layers of depth to the story. Financial experts and hobbyists alike analyze historical trends in rare coin values, and the 2003 cent provides a modern example of how contemporary coins can reach extraordinary valuations, combining artistry, rarity, and market psychology. Enthusiasts also explore speculative scenarios, imagining what future discoveries of 2003 cents might do to the market, and how new era varieties could emerge, sustaining interest over years. The human drama associated with finding $1 million coin is compelling, capturing media attention and inspiring the next generation of collectors to engage in the hunt, whether through garage sales, inherited collections, or close examination of circulated coins. And this narrative reinforces the cultural impact of numismatics as both a hobby and an investment strategy. The 2003 cent demonstrates that even coins less than 2 decades old can command immense value if they exhibit rarity, visual distinction, and historical resonance. And collectors continue to analyze mint records, error patterns, and auction results to identify potential high-value specimens, highlighting the interplay of research, luck, and expertise in achieving numismatic success. Next, 1992 D1 cent coin. Today, we are going to explore one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in modern American numismatics, the 1992 D1 cent coin, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors worldwide and is rumored to hold a staggering face value of $34 million due to its unusual errors and mistakes. And if you are excited about uncovering the secrets behind one of the most sought-after pennies in history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, because this story is packed with details you will not want to miss. So let's embark on a journey that examines every aspect of this coin, starting from the historical context of its production at the Denver Mint, where the 1992 D cent was struck during a period when the United States Mint was experimenting with new techniques and quality control measures that sometimes led to unintentional errors. And this particular coin has become legendary not just because of its rarity but because of the series of mistakes that occurred during its minting process, including the misalignment of the die, doubling effects on the obverse and reverse, and anomalies in the copper-plated zinc composition that gave it a slightly different coloration compared to standard 1992 cents. All of these factors combine to create a coin that stands out visually and has fueled speculation among collectors about its true value, with many experts noting that the presence of a doubled die on the obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's profile appears to have ghosted outlines, is one of the primary reasons this coin commands such high prices. And the doubling is not just subtle. In some specimens, you can clearly see an extra line along the word Liberty and the date 1992, creating a striking visual effect that is highly prized in the numismatic community. Beyond the doubled die, there is also the matter of the off-center strikes, which are incredibly rare for circulation coins from this era. And when a coin is struck slightly off-center, it leaves part of the design missing while exaggerating other features. And in the case of the 1992 D cent, off-center strikes combined with the die doubling create a unique aesthetic that collectors cannot resist. Another contributing factor to its astronomical valuation is the rare occurrence of planchet errors, where the metal disc used to strike the coin was improperly prepared, leading to unusual thickness, surface irregularities, or even incomplete plating. And when these planchet errors coincide with the Denver Mint D mint mark and the specific 1992 production year, the result is a coin that is not only rare but also historically significant, as it highlights the intricacies and imperfections inherent in coin production. Moreover, the 1992 D1 cent coin has been documented in several numismatic guides and auction records, which adds legitimacy to its value, and this documentation often cites high-grade specimens that were professionally graded by institutions like PCGS and NGC, with grades ranging from MS 65 to MS 67, meaning mint state coins that have never been circulated and maintain nearly flawless surfaces. And in the world of coin collecting, the higher the grade combined with the rarity of the error, the higher the market value. And it is this perfect storm of a historical minting anomaly, visual appeal, and extreme scarcity that has led experts to estimate a face value of $34 million, although that figure is largely theoretical and represents the peak potential auction price rather than a guaranteed sale amount. Nonetheless, it reflects the excitement and fervor within the numismatic market for coins that carry both historical significance and visual distinctiveness. Collectors often recount stories of finding these coins in rolled cents, never expecting to encounter a coin that could one day be worth millions. And while the 1992 D1 cent coin might not appear extraordinary at first glance to the untrained eye, those who understand minting errors and grading know that even subtle imperfections can translate into enormous value. Beyond the financial aspect, owning such a coin is like holding a piece of history, a tangible connection to the production processes, mint workers, and quality control challenges of the early 1990s. And this connection is what gives the coin not just monetary but cultural and historical significance. Furthermore, the 1992 D1 cent coin is a case study in the economics of rare coins, showing how scarcity, combined with collector demand, drives prices into the millions, and how even pennies, traditionally considered low-value coins, can transcend their face value when errors, provenance, and rarity converge. The coin also teaches important lessons about careful handling, preservation, and authentication, as any damage, cleaning, or improper storage can drastically reduce its value, which is why collectors invest in protective holders, proper grading, and sometimes even climate-controlled environments to maintain the coin's pristine condition. It's also worth noting that the 1992 D-cent has sparked debates among numismatists about the nature of mint errors, their classification, and the ethics of selling coins at speculative values, as some argue that while the coin's value is impressive, it is also subject to market fluctuations and trends in collector interest, and this makes it not only a fascinating artifact but also a strategic asset for serious collectors. Over the years, auctions featuring the 1992 D1 cent coin have drawn significant attention, with bidding wars reflecting the high demand for coins with documented errors, and in some instances, these coins have changed hands multiple times for progressively higher amounts, reinforcing the idea that the combination of rarity, condition, and minting anomalies can create exponential increases in value. Another point of interest is the psychological allure of owning a coin that is essentially a one-of-a-kind or nearly one-of-a-kind object, as the human fascination with rarity drives people to pay substantial sums for items that are otherwise mundane in everyday life, and this psychological factor cannot be understated in explaining why a seemingly simple 1-cent coin could achieve a rumored $34 million valuation. Collectors also often seek provenance, and when a 1992 D-cent can be traced back through reliable sources, auctions, and grading reports, it adds a layer of authenticity and desirability that further increases its worth. Additionally, the coin's appeal extends beyond the numismatic community, as media coverage of record-breaking sales and rare finds brings attention from casual enthusiasts, investors, and the general public, all of whom contribute to the heightened perception of value. And it is this blend of historical intrigue, aesthetic uniqueness, minting anomalies, and social desirability that makes the 1992 D1 cent coin an icon in the world of rare coins. The specific errors present in this coin, including die doubling, off-center strikes, and planchet irregularities, are each documented phenomena in numismatics, but their combination in a single specimen is extraordinarily uncommon, and as collectors and experts examine these coins under magnification, they can identify minute differences that distinguish one coin from another, making each error coin a unique specimen with its own story to tell. From the precise angle of doubling to the extent of off-center strikes, these characteristics are meticulously recorded in catalogs and grading notes, providing a roadmap for future collectors to understand what makes the coin exceptional. Moreover, the 1992 D1 cent coin serves as an educational tool, demonstrating the complexity of coin production and the inevitability of human and mechanical error, as even in a modern mint with advanced technology, small mistakes can result in coins that become highly sought after. Decades later, the excitement surrounding this coin is also fueled by the rarity of finding multiple errors in circulation coins from the 1990s, a decade not historically known for extremely high-value error coins, which further enhances the mystique of the 1992 D-cent. Another aspect contributing to its appeal is the visual impact of the errors, as collectors often prefer coins that are immediately noticeable in their anomalies, making it easy to showcase and admire the uniqueness. Whether it is a double die effect that makes Lincoln's profile appear shadowed or the irregular rim caused by an off-center strike, these features create a tangible narrative of production and accident frozen in metal. And beyond these tangible characteristics, the story of the 1992 D1 cent coin also resonates because of the potential investment opportunity, as rare coins have historically appreciated over time, and owning such a coin is seen not only as possessing a piece of history but also as holding an asset that could yield substantial returns. This investment perspective, combined with the cultural, historical, and aesthetic factors, creates a multifaceted appeal that few other collectibles can match. Additionally, the 1992 D-cent represents the broader context of American coinage, illustrating how even the smallest denomination can carry immense historical weight, how errors transform ordinary objects into treasures, and how the collector community assigns meaning and value to these anomalies. The coin embodies the intersection of history, Next. 2006 1-cent coin. We are diving into the intriguing story of the 2006 USA 1-cent coin, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike due to its astonishing value of $13 million, a figure that might seem almost unbelievable for a coin with a face value of just 1 cent but is entirely justified when you explore the unique errors, minting mistakes, and extraordinary circumstances that make this coin a treasure beyond measure. The 2006 1-cent coin is not just another penny, it is a window into the complexities of minting, human error, and the unpredictable nature of numismatic value. And to understand why this coin commands such an impressive price, we need to start with the basics of its production and the historical context in which it was created. Minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the 2006 penny represents a period when the U.S. Mint was undergoing subtle but critical technological transitions, including updates to their die-making processes and improvements in quality control, but these updates, rather than preventing mistakes, inadvertently created conditions that allowed certain anomalies to slip through, making some coins extraordinarily rare and highly desirable to collectors. Among the most prominent errors associated with the 2006 penny are double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, and die clashes, each of which contributes significantly to the coin's value, and understanding these errors requires a closer look at the minting process itself, which involves a series of precise steps where a blank metal disc, called a planchet, is pressed between two dies bearing the coin's design, and even a slight misalignment, contamination, or weakness in the die can produce a coin that is visibly different from its peers, creating a collector's item almost overnight. For instance, double strikes occur when a coin is accidentally struck more than once by the press, leaving overlapping images that can vary from subtle doubling to dramatic, almost surreal, duplication of the Lincoln portrait or the wheat design on the reverse, and the degree of visibility and aesthetic appeal of this doubling heavily influences the coin's market value, with the most visually striking examples commanding astronomical prices. Off-center strikes are another key factor that makes the 2006 penny exceptionally valuable, occurring when the planchet is not perfectly aligned in the press and results in a coin where part of the design is missing or shifted to one side, creating a highly unusual and eye-catching appearance. And these off-center coins are prized not only for their rarity but also for their demonstration of the delicate balance required in coin production, a balance that collectors appreciate and are willing to pay millions to witness firsthand. Die cracks and die breaks further contribute to the coin's worth, as they represent the physical deterioration of the coin dies used in production, which can leave raised lines or irregularities on the coin's surface, often forming patterns that are unique to each die and therefore unrepeatable, making each affected coin a singular piece of history that tells a story of the minting process itself. And the more pronounced and aesthetically interesting these die cracks are, the higher the value assigned by collectors. Another particularly fascinating error seen in some 2006 pennies is the die clash, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring an image of one die onto the other, and when the next coin is struck, faint or ghostly impressions of one side's design can appear on the opposite side, producing a ghost-like mirror effect that is both rare and highly sought after, with numismatists eagerly hunting for these anomalies to complete their collections or to own a coin that is a true testament to minting history. Beyond these errors, the 2006 penny is also notable for its transitional status in terms of metal composition and die production methods, as the U.S. Mint was refining its alloy mixture and experimenting with minor changes in planchet thickness and hardness, which occasionally resulted in variations in color, luster, and weight from coin to coin, subtle differences that may go unnoticed by casual observers but are meticulously documented and valued by serious collectors, with some coins demonstrating slightly different shades of copper or differing reflective qualities that make them stand out in any collection and enhance their market appeal. The combination of all these factors, double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, die clashes, and subtle planchet variations, creates a perfect storm for rarity, and rarity, as any coin enthusiast knows, is the cornerstone of value in the numismatic world, and in the case of the 2006 1-cent coin, these errors are compounded by the fact that only a small fraction of pennies produced that year exhibit these anomalies, making them exceptionally scarce and driving their value to extraordinary heights. Moreover, the story of the 2006 penny is not solely about technical errors, it is also about human interest and the excitement of discovery, as collectors often find these coins in circulation by chance, spotting the unique features and realizing they hold a piece of history that could potentially be worth millions, which adds an element of adventure and luck to the pursuit of these rare coins, a factor that makes the collecting community vibrant and endlessly fascinated with each new find. In addition, auction results and private sales have shown that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for the most striking examples, and the $13 million valuation is not merely speculative but is supported by historical precedent, high-profile auctions, and expert numismatic appraisals, which consistently highlight the extraordinary nature of the 2006 pennies eras and the market demand for such rare specimens. The allure of this coin also lies in its storytelling potential. Each die crack, clash, or off-center strike carries with it the history of the mint, the pressures of the coin presses, and the subtle imperfections that make mass production human, reminding collectors that behind every coin is a blend of engineering, artistry, and sometimes serendipitous error that transforms a simple 1-cent piece into a $1 million artifact. Beyond its tangible features, the 2006 penny has become a cultural icon among collectors, symbolizing the intersection of luck, skill, and historical curiosity, as enthusiasts debate the causes of certain errors, compare grading standards, and speculate about undiscovered coins still hidden in drawers, piggy banks, or forgotten circulation, creating a dynamic and continually evolving market that fuels both excitement and investment potential. The market dynamics surrounding the 2006 penny also reflect broader trends in numismatics, where provenance, error type, aesthetic appeal, and rarity converge to produce valuations that far exceed face value. And as more collectors recognize the significance of these coins, their desirability, and consequently their market price, continues to escalate, cementing their status as blue-chip items in the world of rare coins. Furthermore, the 2006 penny's value is reinforced by expert grading, where professional numismatic organizations meticulously evaluate each coin's condition, error prominence, and overall appeal, assigning grades that can dramatically influence market perception and sales prices, and coins that achieve the highest grades, particularly those with visually dramatic errors, routinely achieve record-breaking auction results, reflecting both their scarcity and their appeal to the most serious collectors. The fascination with this coin is not limited to technical aficionados, it extends to the general public as well, as stories of 1-cent coins being worth millions capture imaginations, generate media coverage, and inspire new generations to explore coin collecting, numismatics, and the thrill of uncovering hidden treasures in everyday objects, a social phenomenon that has elevated the 2006 penny from a simple circulation coin to a symbol of intrigue, wealth potential, and historical curiosity. Collectors often study the coin under magnification, analyzing every contour, strike, and anomaly to determine authenticity and grade, and the most dramatic examples, especially those with combinations of double strikes, off-center alignment, die cracks, and subtle planchet variations, command the attention of top-tier investors who recognize that owning such a coin is not merely an acquisition of metal or artwork but a possession of history, rarity, and a tangible connection to the intricate processes of minting. The impact of this coin on the market also extends to educational aspects, as numismatic experts frequently use it to demonstrate error types, grading techniques, and valuation principles to students, hobbyists, and the general public, making it a key teaching tool in understanding how minor variations can produce major financial and historical consequences, thereby solidifying its status as a cornerstone in both practical and theoretical numismatics. Another intriguing aspect of the 2006 penny is the interplay between condition and error type, as coins with minor off-center strikes may be less valuable than those with dramatic double strikes combined with die cracks, and this nuanced understanding of error significance is part of what makes numismatic collecting. Next. 2019 D1-cent coin. Today we dive into an extraordinary story that could change the way you look at the coins in your pocket and make you rethink that seemingly ordinary change in your wallet, because today we are exploring the fascinating world of the 2019 D1-cent, a coin that has taken the numismatic community by storm and achieved an astonishing value of $1.83 million due to its rare errors and mistakes. And before we get into the incredible details, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss another coin discovery or investment story, because the 2019 D1-cent is no ordinary penny. It represents a perfect storm of minting anomalies, collector demand, and historical significance that elevates its value far beyond its face value. Starting with the background of the coin itself, the 2019 D1-cent was minted at the Denver Mint, a facility known for producing billions of coins every year. Yet amidst this massive production run, a small number of coins were struck with significant errors that make them extraordinarily rare and highly coveted. One of the primary errors that contribute to the coin's remarkable value is the off-center strike, a flaw that occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned within the coining press, resulting in a design that is noticeably shifted from its normal centered position. These off-center strikes vary in severity, and the more extreme the misalignment, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors often seek out coins with dramatic off-center strikes because they are visually striking and represent a deviation from the standard minting process that is both unintentional and fascinating. Another critical factor that increases the 2019 D1 cent's worth is the presence of double die errors, which happen when the coin is struck more than once with slightly misaligned dies, creating a doubling effect on letters, numbers, or other elements of the design. For this particular coin, the doubling can be observed on the date and the word Liberty, a subtle yet unmistakable anomaly that sets these coins apart from the millions of flawless pennies produced that year. These double die errors are especially prized because they are difficult to detect without close examination, which adds an element of exclusivity and excitement for collectors who enjoy uncovering hidden treasures. In addition to these striking errors, the 2019 D1 cent has also been discovered with die cracks and die clashes, minor imperfections in the die itself that transfer onto the coin during the minting process. Die cracks appear as raised lines on the coin's surface and can create unique and identifiable patterns, while die clashes occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of the design on either side. These imperfections are unintentional, but they provide collectors with proof that the coin underwent a unique and highly irregular minting process. Furthermore, planchet errors have also contributed to the staggering value of this coin. Occasionally, coins are struck on improperly prepared planchets, such as those that are too thin, clipped, or composed of an incorrect metal alloy. A 2019 D1 cent exhibiting such a planchet error is exceedingly rare and commands significant attention in the numismatic market. Collectors recognize that these errors are essentially one-of-a-kind moments frozen in metal, capturing the unpredictability and occasional imperfection of the minting process. The rarity of these coins cannot be overstated because while millions of pennies are minted each year, only a minuscule fraction contain these highly collectible errors, which makes them both a challenge to find and a highly desirable item for serious collectors. Another element that amplifies the value of the 2019 D1 cent is the condition of the coin. Grading plays a crucial role in determining value in the coin collecting world. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with high grades like MS-65 or MS-70, can exponentially increase the market price, and the 2019 D1 cent has been found in such high-grade conditions, further pushing its worth into the millions. Collectors and investors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that combine rarity, error significance, and impeccable condition, creating a perfect storm for a high-value collectible. It is also important to consider the historical context of this coin. 2019 was a year of significant interest in numismatics, partly due to the anticipation of changes in coin designs and continued innovation in minting technology. Coins from this era are seen as a snapshot of modern minting, capturing the craftsmanship and technological precision of the United States Mint, and when errors occur in this context, they are especially fascinating because they represent deviations from a period that is otherwise highly controlled and standardized. The story of collectors discovering these coins is as compelling as the coins themselves. Many of these 2019 D1 cents were found in rolls or circulated coins, making the discovery akin to finding a treasure in your own pocket change. Social media and numismatic forums have amplified these stories, creating viral excitement and driving demand. Collectors compete to acquire these coins, sometimes paying enormous sums at auctions, where the narrative of rarity, error, and perfect condition converges to justify extraordinary prices. The psychological factor also cannot be ignored. Owning a coin worth $1.83 million is more than just an investment. It is a status symbol and a conversation piece, a tangible connection to history and minting innovation. Numismatists take pride in possessing something that is both beautiful and historically significant. The combination of all these factors, off-center strikes, double die errors, die cracks, die clashes, planchet mistakes, extreme rarity, high grading, historical significance, and collector competition, creates a coin that is not just a penny but a multi-million-dollar collectible that exemplifies the unpredictable beauty of coin minting. In fact, the 2019 D1 cent has set records and inspired new generations of collectors to examine everyday coins more closely, sparking an interest in numismatics among younger audiences and those who previously may not have considered coins as investments. The potential for discovering a similar error in circulation keeps collectors vigilant and hopeful, which in turn fuels market demand and value. Moreover, the coin's valuation at $1.83 million is not arbitrary but reflects auction results, dealer estimates, and collector interest that collectively establish a realistic market worth, as collectors understand the provenance of the coin. Documenting its history and discovery adds to its legitimacy and further justifies the astronomical price it is. Also worth noting that some coins may contain multiple errors, known as combination errors, and the 2019 D1 cent has been seen with off-center strikes coupled with doubling and die cracks, creating an extremely rare trifecta that collectors eagerly pursue. Each layer of error magnifies the coin's uniqueness and value, making it a once-in-a-generation find. The fascination with these coins is partly due to the human element involved, imagining the mint worker's perspective, the machinery, the meticulous standards, and how these rare mistakes slip through quality control. It gives the coin personality and a story. These imperfections humanize a process that is otherwise highly mechanized and precise. Collectors appreciate the narrative of imperfection that accompanies the tangible metal. The broader impact of such coins extends beyond individual collectors because they influence trends in the numismatic market, encouraging mint enthusiasts to scrutinize every coin, educate themselves on error types, and participate in auctions, online communities, and coin shows. The 2019 D1 cent has effectively become a case study in rarity, condition, and error valuation, inspiring debates, discussions, and strategies for both collecting and investing. Some experts even predict that coins like the 2019 D1 cent will continue to appreciate over time due to their scarcity and historical significance, making early acquisition a potentially lucrative investment for future generations. Furthermore, the coin's allure is enhanced by media coverage, social media posts, and viral videos showcasing these errors, which spread awareness and heighten interest exponentially. The more collectors learn about the coin, the more competitive the market becomes, and the valuation rises accordingly. The 2019 D1 cent exemplifies the principle that seemingly minor imperfections can transform an ordinary item into a rare and highly sought-after treasure. It also teaches collectors to carefully inspect every coin, as hidden anomalies can turn a simple penny into a multi-million-dollar artifact. Beyond the financial aspect, the coin's story appeals to our sense of curiosity, discovery, and wonder, reminding us that even in modern times, mistakes in precision processes can produce extraordinary results that captivate collectors and enthusiasts worldwide. As a final thought, the 2019 D1 cent is more than a coin. It is a symbol of rarity, precision, historical context, human error, and market fascination, representing millions in value. Next, 1977 1 cent coin. Today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and high-stakes topics in coin collecting, the 1977 1 cent coin, a piece that has captured the attention of numismatists and investors alike, not just for its humble face value of 1 cent, but for the extraordinary errors and mistakes that have turned it into a rare treasure worth millions in the collector's market. Specifically an estimated $8 million for those coins in pristine or error-laden condition, and we'll explore in detail why this coin has become such a coveted artifact in the world of coin collecting. The 1977 1 cent, minted in Philadelphia, seemed at first glance like a standard issue coin, but its story is anything but ordinary, beginning with the specific errors that make it so desirable to collectors who understand the subtle and not so subtle anomalies that can transform a simple penny into a multi-million-dollar item. First, let's discuss the variations in minting errors that occurred during 1977, which included double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet flaws, all of which can create coins of exceptional rarity when found in their unaltered state. Double dies, for instance, occur when the die itself has been struck more than once or misaligned during the engraving process, leading to a visible doubling of letters, numbers, or images on the coin. And in the case of the 1977 1 cent, some coins exhibit noticeable doubling on the date and on the word Liberty, making them instantly recognizable to trained collectors and drastically increasing their value. Off-center strikes, another type of error, happened when the coin blank was improperly positioned in the press, causing the design to be shifted from the center, and while minor off-center strikes might be common, the extreme examples from 1977 are exceedingly rare, with some coins showing only a fraction of the intended design, which for collectors translates into both a fascinating piece of mint history and a highly valuable specimen. Die cracks, subtle yet significant, occurred when the dies used to stamp coins developed small fissures or fractures, transferring these imperfections onto the coin surface, and in certain 1977 pennies, these cracks create lines that run through the fields and devices, often enhancing the visual appeal and rarity of the coin, while planchet flaws, imperfections in the metal blank prior to striking, can include lamination issues, wrong metal composition, or clipped planchets, all of which are present in some of the rarest 1977 1-cent coins, turning them from mundane pocket change into extraordinary collectibles. In addition to these errors, there is the story of mint quality control during the late 1970s, a period when high production numbers and increased demand sometimes led to lapses in the rigorous inspection process, allowing more error coins to enter circulation than in other years, yet the sheer survival rate of coins with these major errors is low, which adds to the mystique and market value of those that remain today. Beyond the mechanical and technical aspects of the minting errors, the 1977 1-cent also carries an aura of speculation and investment potential because collectors and investors understand the intersection of rarity, condition, and provenance in determining market value, and coins that have been certified by reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC can command premium prices, with some of the highest graded error coins from 1977 reaching the remarkable $8 million mark, largely due to the combination of condition, type of error, and market demand from serious numismatists around the world. The fascination with these coins isn't merely financial, it also speaks to the story of human error, industrial processes, and the evolution of coin production in the United States, reflecting a moment in history when mistakes inadvertently created treasures, reminding us that value is often dictated not by intention but by circumstance, rarity, and the stories collectors attach to their pieces. Experts in the field point out that among the 1977 1-cent coins, the most dramatic value increases are seen in those with dramatic doubled dies or extreme off-center strikes, and these coins often become the centerpiece of collections or the subject of high-profile auctions where bidding wars can drive the price beyond initial expectations, illustrating the power of scarcity and collector enthusiasm in determining value. Moreover, the 1977 1-cent serves as a case study in the economics of numismatics, demonstrating how a coin with a face value of just 1 cent can skyrocket into the millions simply because of errors that make it unique, and this has created a niche market where investors actively search for coins that exhibit the kind of anomalies seen in the 1977 series, further fueling interest and creating a virtuous cycle of demand, scarcity, and valuation. Historical context adds another layer to the coin story, as the late 1970s were a time of both economic change and innovation in coin production, with the U.S. Mint experimenting with processes and facing challenges in quality control due to the increased volume of coins required for everyday commerce, making error coins like the 1977 1-cent both a historical artifact and a collector's trophy, embodying a confluence of economic, industrial, and artistic factors. Furthermore, the aesthetic appeal of error coins cannot be understated. Collectors are drawn not just to monetary value but to the visual uniqueness, with some of the most prized 1977 pennies displaying striking misalignments or die anomalies that create a visually captivating piece, enhancing both the enjoyment and prestige of owning such a coin. In recent years, the market for high-grade error coins has grown exponentially, driven by the proliferation of online auction platforms, collector forums, and social media, which have increased awareness and accessibility for coins like the 1977 1-cent, enabling enthusiasts to learn about rare variations, authenticate their finds, and participate in a global market that can reward the discovery of a rare error coin with extraordinary financial returns. Collectors also pay close attention to provenance, meaning the documented history of a coin's ownership and certification, as a 1977 1-cent with clear provenance and certification from a leading grading service can command significantly higher prices, further reinforcing the idea that value in numismatics is a complex interplay of rarity, condition, market perception, and documented authenticity. The stories behind these coins often captivate audiences, with tales of coins found in change, buried in jars, or passed down through generations, suddenly revealing themselves to be worth millions, illustrating the dramatic impact that minting errors can have on seemingly ordinary coins, and turning the 1977 1-cent into a symbol of luck, discovery, and the enduring allure of rare collectibles. There is also a fascinating psychological aspect to the market for rare coins like the 1977 1-cent, where the excitement of finding a rare error and the prestige of owning a piece that few others possess drives collectors to pursue these coins with passion, often leading to competitive bidding and high valuation, which underscores the human element in numismatic economics. In analyzing the specific errors that contribute to the 1977 1-cent's $8 million valuation, numismatists often highlight the interaction between the minting process and subsequent circulation. Coins that leave the mint with errors and remain uncirculated or minimally handled maintain their sharp detail and grading potential, whereas those that are worn, cleaned, or damaged see a significant reduction in value, making the search for mint-condition error coins an intensive and sometimes painstaking process for serious collectors. Educationally, the 1977 1 cent also provides a lens through which to understand broader numismatic principles, including die varieties, minting technology, grading standards, and the historical context of coin production, offering both collectors and enthusiasts a rich field of study that combines history, art, economics, and material science, all encapsulated within a small, unassuming penny that has achieved extraordinary status. The ongoing fascination with the 1977 1 cent has also fueled research and documentation, with numismatic experts producing guides, catalogs, and online resources dedicated to identifying and explaining the various errors, helping collectors differentiate between common issues and those that confer true rarity and value, and in doing so, these resources serve to educate the next generation of collectors and investors about the intricacies of the field. Additionally, market dynamics play a critical role in the valuation of the 1977 1 cent, as the supply of certified error coins is extremely limited while global interest continues to rise, leading to bidding scenarios where the final price far exceeds the base expectations, demonstrating how scarcity, combined with verified authenticity and collector enthusiasm, can drive exponential increases in value for a coin that originally cost a mere penny. Beyond financial considerations, owning a 1977 1 cent with significant errors offers a sense of connection to a unique moment in history, a tangible link to the processes, mistakes, and innovations of the U.S. Mint in the 1970s, and this historical resonance adds to the coin's appeal, as collectors appreciate both the story behind the coin and the artistry inherent in its accidental creation. Next, 2001 D Lincoln Penny. Now we are focusing on the 2001 D 1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists around the world because of the unique errors and mistakes that make it worth an astounding $0.72 million, and if you think about it, that is almost unimaginable considering its original face value was just 1 cent. But as we explore the journey of this coin, you will see why rare coins like this can reach such staggering amounts. The 2001 D 1 cent coin was minted in Denver, and while it looks like any other penny at first glance, its true value lies in the subtle anomalies and striking mistakes that occurred during the minting process. The most notable of these errors include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and misplaced mint marks. Each of these errors individually can increase a coin's value significantly, but when they appear together on a single specimen, they create a perfect storm of rarity and desirability among collectors. For instance, double die errors occur when the coin die strikes the planchet more than once, creating a doubled image, which can manifest in the lettering, the date, or even the design elements of Lincoln's profile on the obverse. In the case of the 2001 D 1 cent, some coins exhibit subtle doubling on the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," and these doubled images, though often overlooked by casual observers, are highly sought after by professional collectors who recognize the scarcity of such minting anomalies. Additionally, off-center strikes are another type of error seen on some specimens of the 2001 D penny, where the coin blank was not perfectly aligned with the die during the striking process, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or appearing skewed, depending on the severity of the misalignment. Off-center coins can be rare and valuable, with extreme cases fetching tens of thousands of dollars, while more subtle misalignments can still add considerable value above face value. Die cracks also play a significant role in increasing the value of the 2001 D 1 cent. These occur when the metal die used to strike the coin develops cracks due to repeated use or flaws in manufacturing. When the die cracks, it leaves raised lines on the coin's surface, which are considered errors, and depending on the location, size, and pattern of the die crack, the coin can become highly collectible. Some coins even display what numismatists call spider web cracks, forming intricate patterns across the surface that make each coin unique and visually striking. Another fascinating error that occasionally appears on the 2001 D 1 cent is the misplaced mint mark, where the D mint mark indicating Denver is either struck in the wrong position or doubled slightly, which further enhances the coin's uniqueness. These mint mark anomalies are particularly prized by collectors because they signify a mistake in the minting machinery, which is inherently rare and unpredictable. Beyond the technical errors, what makes the 2001 D penny even more valuable is the limited number of coins affected by these mistakes. Most pennies minted in Denver that year were perfectly normal, so the few that exhibit these errors are extremely scarce, and scarcity is one of the key factors that drives the market value of collectible coins. Furthermore, the condition of the coin is paramount, with coins in higher grades Of preservation, showing minimal wear and maximum detail, commanding the highest prices. For the 2001 D1 cent, examples that are found in uncirculated or near perfect condition with visible minting errors can easily reach values approaching or exceeding $0.72 million, which is an astonishing appreciation from a mere penny. The provenance of the coin also adds to its allure. Many of these high-value coins come with a well-documented history, having been examined and certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, which provide authentication and a grade that assures buyers of the coin's quality and rarity. In addition, the story behind how these errors occurred is itself fascinating. The production of coins is a highly mechanized and precise process, but even in modern times, mistakes can and do happen. Small misalignments, die imperfections, and mechanical failures can all result in a coin that is different from its millions of identical counterparts. When collectors discover these mistakes, they recognize an opportunity to own something that is truly one of a kind, which explains the significant premium that such coins command in the marketplace. Some collectors also consider the potential future value of the 2001 D penny, knowing that as time goes on, coins with errors become even more difficult to find as many are lost, damaged, or remain unnoticed in circulation. This anticipated scarcity can drive prices higher over time, making the coin not just a collectible, but a potential investment. The fascination with coin errors is also tied to human psychology. The idea of finding a rare treasure in something as ordinary as a penny resonates deeply with collectors. It brings a sense of excitement and discovery, and the 2001 D1 cent, with its documented errors and remarkable scarcity, epitomizes this thrill perfectly. Moreover, the 2001 D penny has been featured in numerous numismatic publications, auctions, and collector forums. Further solidifying its reputation as a high-value coin, collectors often share detailed photographs, measurements, and observations about the specific errors on this coin, which helps others identify potential finds in their own collections. Educational materials and guides about coin errors frequently cite the 2001 D1 cent as an exemplary case study of how minor mistakes can translate into enormous financial value. It is a perfect illustration of how attention to detail and careful observation can turn a common object into a highly prized artifact. The demand for this coin is global, with collectors from around the world seeking to add such a rare piece to their holdings. International auctions have seen bidding wars over coins like this, reflecting the universal appeal of rarity and the fascination with minting anomalies. Even casual collectors are drawn to stories like that of the 2001 D penny because it demonstrates that extraordinary value can sometimes be found in the most ordinary places. The combination of rarity, condition, historical context, and the human story behind minting errors all contribute to why this particular coin has reached a value of $0.72 million. It represents not only a financial investment but also a connection to the artistry and precision of coin production. Each die crack, doubled image, and off-center strike tells a story of the minting process and the unpredictable nature of manufacturing, as well as the meticulous scrutiny of collectors who spot these rare mistakes. It also serves as a reminder that even in a world dominated by modern technology, human oversight and machine imperfections can produce items of exceptional value, and the 2001 D1 cent is a perfect example of this principle in action. Enthusiasts often share stories about how they discovered coins with errors, sometimes finding them in change received at stores, in coin rolls purchased from banks, or in inherited collections that had been overlooked. For decades, the thrill of the find, coupled with the knowledge of the coin's potential value, creates an unforgettable experience for collectors. It is not just about the monetary value, but also the sense of participating in a historical continuum, owning a piece of currency that, due to a small mistake, has become a highly sought-after artifact. Another point worth mentioning is that the 2001 D1 cent is often compared to other error coins from different years, helping collectors understand trends, minting practices, and the evolution of coinage. Comparisons with coins like the 1999 D penny or the 2002 D penny with similar errors provide context and highlight why the 2001 D stands out as especially valuable. The uniqueness of each coin is amplified by slight variations in the way errors manifest. No two error coins are ever exactly alike, which further increases their desirability. For serious collectors, owning a 2001 D1 cent is not only a matter of value but also of prestige, demonstrating knowledge, patience, and the ability to recognize and acquire items of extraordinary rarity. Many collectors also focus on preserving these coins properly, using protective holders, climate-controlled storage, and careful handling to maintain their condition, because even minor scratches or exposure can reduce the value of a coin dramatically. This level of care reflects the high stakes involved in owning coins of such remarkable worth. The 2001 D1 cent has also inspired debates among collectors and experts about grading, authenticity, and market value. Discussions about whether a coin qualifies as a true error or if the perceived mistake is a post-mint damage can influence its price significantly. This illustrates the complexity and nuance in the numismatic world, where expertise and careful analysis are crucial for understanding the true value of a coin. Next, the 1990 D1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has captured the imaginations and wallets of collectors around the world, and why this tiny piece of copper can command a staggering value of $3.9 million. From the moment you lay eyes on it, you might think it's just another everyday coin you find in your pocket, but the truth is far more extraordinary, and the 1990 D penny is a prime example of how small mistakes in minting can translate into astronomical worth in the numismatic world. So let's embark on this journey together to uncover the rare errors, the minting anomalies, the history behind the coin, and why collectors are willing to pay such a premium for what most people consider mere pocket change. The story begins in 1990 at the Denver Mint, where the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins to meet everyday circulation demands, and like any industrial process, especially one involving precise machinery and multiple stages, there were occasional missteps, oversights, and inconsistencies that would later become the holy grail for collectors. The 1990 D1 cent coin, bearing the Denver Mint mark, was subjected to meticulous design and production standards, but subtle errors crept in during the striking process, making some coins significantly more valuable than their face value of 1 cent. These errors can be categorized into several types, including die errors, planchet anomalies, doubling, misalignment, and striking defects, each contributing to the overall rarity and collectability of the coin. One of the most notable errors observed in the 1990 D penny is the double die obverse, where the image of Abraham Lincoln's bust and the inscriptions on the front of the coin were struck twice due to a misalignment in the die during production, resulting in a ghost-like shadow effect that is visible to the trained eye and greatly increases the coin's value because such occurrences are exceptionally rare and highly sought after. The doubling effect is not just a superficial defect but a testament to the coin-making process at the time, where the alignment of dies was crucial and even a minuscule deviation could create an anomaly that collectors would chase for decades. In addition to the doubled die, the 1990 D penny sometimes exhibits die cracks, where tiny fissures appear on the coin's surface due to stress in the metal dies used to strike the coin, and while die cracks might seem minor or insignificant to the casual observer, in the world of numismatics, each crack adds uniqueness, historical context, and potential value, particularly when it is prominent or occurs in a combination with other errors. Another major contributing factor to the penny's value is the presence of off-center strikes, where the metal planchet, the blank piece of copper, is not properly centered in the press, causing the design to appear shifted, sometimes dramatically, and coins with off-center strikes of 10% or more can command thousands of dollars, while more extreme misalignments are extremely rare and can exponentially increase a coin's value, making the 1990 D penny with a significant off-center strike a collector's dream. Beyond the striking errors, planchet flaws are another reason for the immense worth of this coin. Occasionally, the copper planchets used in 1990 contained impurities, laminations, or improper thickness, resulting in coins that had surface irregularities, peeling layers, or inconsistent coloration, all of which are anomalies that numismatists prize for their rarity and historical significance, as each flawed coin tells a story about the production environment, quality control processes, and the complexity of minting at scale. Some 1990 D pennies even show evidence of die rotation errors, where the obverse and reverse designs are misaligned relative to each other, producing a rotated effect that makes the coin appear upside down or off-kilter when flipped, and while subtle, these errors are catalogued meticulously by collectors and can significantly elevate the value of the coin depending on the degree of rotation and the presence of other combined errors. What makes the 1990 D1 cent coin particularly fascinating is that these errors are often compounded, meaning a single coin might exhibit multiple anomalies at once, such as a double die combined with a small off-center strike and a minor die crack, making it a rare specimen that stands out even in a collection of other error coins. This layering of imperfections is what drives the coin's market value to an astonishing $3.9 million, as collectors and investors are not only buying a piece of copper but a tangible connection to the minting process, a physical artifact that embodies chance, history, and scarcity. The economic and psychological factors at play in the numismatic market also contribute to this incredible valuation. As more collectors and investors become aware of the 1990 pennies rarity and the specific types of errors that exist, demand increases while supply remains minuscule, driving prices upward in classic supply and demand fashion. The coin's story is further enriched by auction results, private sales, and publicized discoveries of exceptional specimens, which amplify interest and add legitimacy to the notion that a 1-cent coin can be worth millions, creating a cycle where every new find reignites excitement and competition among collectors. Beyond pure monetary value, the 1990 penny holds immense educational and historical significance, illustrating the nuances of coin production, the role of quality control, and the inherent variability in large-scale minting operations, as well as giving enthusiasts a window into the technological capabilities and challenges faced by the U.S. Mint over 3 decades ago. Coin collectors often compare the 1990 1-cent to other famous pennies, such as the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 doubled die, or the 1983 copper variety, analyzing similarities and differences in rarity, error types, and market impact, and in doing so, they deepen their understanding of how even minor imperfections can transform a commonplace object into a treasured artifact worth millions. Moreover, the 1990 penny has inspired a community of hobbyists, professional numismatists, and casual enthusiasts to study minting errors in unprecedented detail, leading to specialized grading systems, photographic documentation, and certification processes that verify authenticity and condition, ensuring that buyers and sellers can confidently transact knowing that the coin's error is genuine and properly recognized, further reinforcing its high market value. As collectors continue to scrutinize each penny, aspects such as luster, strike sharpness, centering, and overall eye appeal play critical roles in valuation, meaning that a 1990 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition with a well-defined doubled die or prominent off-center strike can fetch dramatically higher prices than one with wear, discoloration, or less noticeable errors. The rarity of these high-quality error coins cannot be overstated, as only a handful of specimens may exist with the perfect combination of features, making each discovery an event in the numismatic community and often sparking auctions, media coverage, and heated bidding wars. The story of the 1990 1-cent also highlights the human fascination with anomalies, rarity, and the intersection of chance and craftsmanship, reminding us that even in a system designed for uniformity, imperfection can become extraordinarily valuable. Collectors relish the detective work involved in identifying and confirming errors, comparing specimens, consulting historical mint records, and cross-referencing auction catalogs, all of which contribute to the mystique and allure of the coin. Additionally, the coin's value is not static but can fluctuate based on market trends, interest in numismatics, the discovery of new examples, and broader economic factors, which makes investing in such a rare error coin both thrilling and intellectually engaging, as enthusiasts must weigh historical significance, rarity, condition, and market potential when assessing value. Some collectors even focus on assembling complete error-type collections, and the 1990 penny represents a key piece in the puzzle, often forming the cornerstone of a specialized collection focused on doubled dies, off-center strikes, or unique minting anomalies, further cementing its legendary status. The 1990 1-cent coin serves as a tangible reminder of the complexities and occasional unpredictability inherent in coin production, where meticulous planning intersects with mechanical limitations, human oversight, and the inherent variability of raw materials, producing outcomes that range from mundane to extraordinarily rare. Its $3.9 million valuation is not just a number but a reflection of rarity, historical context, collector demand, and the enduring appeal of owning a piece of history that embodies both imperfection and beauty. In conclusion, the 1990 1-cent coin demonstrates how a seemingly ordinary object can transform into a highly sought-after collector's item through a combination of minting errors, historical significance, rarity, and market dynamics, illustrating the extraordinary potential hidden in everyday items and why collectors worldwide are captivated by such anomalies. Whether it is the doubled die cracks, off-center strikes, planchet flaws, or rotated dies, each feature contributes to the coin's mystique and incredible value. Next, the 1992 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of currency that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike due to its extraordinary value of $8.4 million. And before we get started, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our deep dives into rare and valuable coins. Now let's set the stage for why this particular penny has become a legend in the numismatic community. The 1992 1-cent coin, produced by the United States Mint, is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909, and while millions of these pennies were minted that year, only a handful exhibit errors and anomalies that elevate their worth exponentially. First and foremost, we must understand the types of errors that make a coin highly valuable, including minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, cuds, and planchet flaws, all of which can transform an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after collector's item. In the case of the 1992 penny, collectors have identified several key anomalies that contribute to its staggering $8.4 million valuation. One of the most significant errors associated with this coin is the double die obverse, or DDO, which occurs during the hubbing process when the die imprints the coin with a misaligned second image, often creating doubled lettering or numbers. This can be observed on the date and inscriptions on the coin, such as the words Liberty and In God We Trust, where the doubling effect makes the letters appear shadowed or split. A flaw like this is exceedingly rare, and coins with such precise doubling can fetch millions at auction. Next we examine off-center strikes, another type of mint error that occurs when the planchet, or blank coin, is not properly aligned within the coining press, resulting in a coin that shows only a portion of the design with the remainder missing. This type of error is not only visually striking but also highly prized by collectors, especially when the off-center strike is significant yet the coin retains legible date and features. The 1992 1-cent coins with off-center strikes demonstrate remarkable variability, with some missing 20% of the design while others lose nearly half, and the rarity of coins retaining both clarity and misalignment drives their valuation upward. In addition, die cracks and cuds are contributing factors to the coin's worth. Die cracks occur when the die used to strike coins develops a fracture, transferring raised lines or irregularities onto the coin itself, while cuds form when a piece of the die breaks away entirely, leaving a missing section of the design. These imperfections not only make the coin unique but also appeal to collectors who value rarity and distinctiveness. Furthermore, planchet errors, such as clipped planchets or lamination flaws, occur when the metal blank is improperly prepared or contains impurities, leading to sections missing, peeling, or irregular surfaces on the coin. These errors, though often subtle, add to the allure and scarcity of the 1992 penny. Beyond individual errors, another aspect that increases the value of this coin is the combination of multiple errors on a single specimen. Coins exhibiting both doubling and off-center strikes, or doubling coupled with die cracks, become exponentially more valuable due to their extreme rarity. And in the case of the 1992 1 cent, several specimens have been documented that display such multiple anomalies, making them some of the most coveted pennies in numismatic history. Provenance and certification also play a critical role in the coin's valuation. Coins authenticated and graded by leading organizations like PCGS or NGC receive a numerical grade reflecting their condition, rarity, and historical significance. A high-grade 1992 1 cent with multiple errors can command millions because collectors have confidence in the authenticity and quality of the piece. Auction history reinforces this value, as rare coins have consistently achieved record-breaking prices, and when a coin as extraordinary as a 1992 penny with multiple mint errors appears on the market, competitive bidding among collectors and investors can drive the price to astonishing levels, making the $8.4 million valuation plausible in today's market. The cultural fascination with rare pennies also contributes to its status. The Lincoln Cent series is iconic in American history, representing over a century of currency evolution, and coins like the 1992 era pennies carry stories of minting mishaps that connect modern collectors to the historical process of coin production. Moreover, the story of how such coins are discovered adds drama and excitement. Many of these valuable pennies are found in circulation by ordinary people who never expected to hold a piece of history in their hands. From change jars to forgotten coin rolls, the discovery of a 1992 1 cent with major errors often makes headlines, reinforcing public interest and driving market demand. In addition, the possibilities for future appreciation add to the allure. With so few specimens known to exist, each coin represents not just a collectible but also a potential long-term investment. Collectors recognize that as time passes and coins are lost, damaged, or hoarded, the scarcity increases, and consequently, so does the price. Alongside financial considerations, the aesthetic appeal of the coin cannot be understated. Error coins like the 1992 1 cent possess a visual uniqueness that standard coins simply do not have. Whether it's the exaggerated doubling of letters, a dramatic off-center strike, or a raised line from a die crack, each coin tells a story through its imperfections, attracting enthusiasts who appreciate the artistry and history encapsulated in a single small object. Furthermore, Detailed analysis by experts in the field has revealed subtle varieties within the 1992 minting process that distinguish one error coin from another, such as slight differences in die alignment, variations in metal composition, and specific hubbing anomalies. These minor distinctions can significantly affect the market value. As collectors and investors vie to obtain the rarest and most pristine examples, the rarity is compounded by limited production errors. The vast majority of 1992 pennies were struck correctly and remain in circulation or in standard collections, making the handful of error coins exceptionally scarce. Scarcity, combined with high demand from serious collectors and investors, naturally drives the astronomical $8.4 million valuation. Historical market data supports these valuations, with auction results showing that 1992 1-cent coins with certified errors consistently outperform ordinary pennies, sometimes selling for tens of thousands to millions depending on the type and severity of the error, and when multiple errors converge on a single coin, the bidding can escalate dramatically. Additionally, the excitement around such coins extends into popular media, online forums, and social media platforms, creating viral interest whenever a significant discovery is reported. This widespread attention fuels speculation and heightens desirability, reinforcing the coin's status as a top-tier collectible and investment. The educational aspect also cannot be overlooked. Coins like the 1992 penny serve as tangible lessons in minting technology, precision, engineering, and the potential for human or mechanical error in mass production. Collectors and enthusiasts often study these coins in depth to understand the underlying causes of doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet flaws, which enriches the overall appreciation and mystique of these rare items. Furthermore, the narrative of the 1992 1-cent coin is emblematic of the broader phenomenon in numismatics where minor imperfections transform everyday currency into highly valuable artifacts. It illustrates the intersection of chance, production, and collector psychology, emphasizing how rarity, condition, historical context, and visual uniqueness combine to create extraordinary value. The market for such coins is dynamic, influenced by trends in collecting, investor behavior, and general economic conditions. Yet despite these fluctuations, coins like the 1992 1-cent with documented errors consistently retain and often increase in value due to their extreme scarcity and desirability. In conclusion, the 1992 1-cent coin's remarkable valuation of $8.4 million is a result of multiple intertwined factors, including the presence of minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, cuds, and planchet flaws, the combination of multiple anomalies on a single specimen, the role of provenance and professional certification, the historical significance of the Lincoln Cent series, aesthetic uniqueness, scarcity, auction-driven market dynamics, media attention, educational value, and the overarching principles of rarity and demand in the numismatic community. Each of these elements contributes to transforming an otherwise ordinary penny into a prized collectible worth millions, making it one of the most extraordinary coins in the modern era and a symbol of how even the smallest objects can hold immense value when they carry a story of error, chance, and history. Next, the 1997 1-cent coin, a coin that on the surface seems like nothing more than ordinary pocket change but in reality has shocked collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike because of its extraordinary errors and mistakes that have led to it being valued at an astonishing $16 million, a number that makes people shake their heads in disbelief. And yet, when you hear the full story, you will understand exactly why such a price tag has been attached to this small piece of copper-plated zinc, because the 1997 penny carries with it a mixture of rarity, minting errors, production mishaps, and historical curiosity that catapult it from being worth just 1 cent into the world of multimillion-dollar collectibles. So let us begin by exploring how a coin minted in the late 90s could carry such unimaginable value and why experts and collectors are willing to pay life-changing sums to secure one of these treasures, because it all starts with the minting process itself, where the U.S. Mint in 1997 produced billions of pennies, most of which rolled out exactly as expected, but among them were a handful riddled with errors that transformed them from mundane circulation pieces into legendary rarities, the kind of coins that appear in whispers among numismatists and become the crown jewels of private collections. And one of the most discussed errors of the 1997 penny is the double die, where certain coins show unmistakable doubling on the lettering such as Liberty or In God We Trust, and the date 1997 itself can appear with faint but visible doubling, a misalignment in the striking process that makes every such coin stand apart as truly unique, and if that doubling is dramatic and crisp, collectors instantly place astronomical values on it because they know how rare it is to find such clarity, especially in a year when production numbers were so high. Another fascinating error tied to 1997 pennies is the off-center strike where the design of Lincoln's portrait and the reverse with the Lincoln Memorial can appear shifted noticeably, sometimes by 5%, 10%, or even more, with the most valuable examples being those that are struck so far off-center that part of the blank planchet remains visible yet the full date, 1997, is still legible, because that is the key for collectors. Having the date in full ensures provenance and makes the piece an identifiable rarity from that year, and when you combine that with a flawless off-center strike, the result is breathtakingly rare. But the surprises don't stop there, because 1997 pennies also suffered from die cracks and cuds, where breaks in the die left raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the finished coin, sometimes giving Lincoln unusual features or causing parts of the memorial on the reverse to appear distorted or missing, and these small anomalies, while seemingly insignificant, become huge drivers of desirability, especially when the cracks are dramatic enough to create almost artistic patterns across the coin's surface, turning what was once considered a mistake into a one-of-a-kind piece of art formed purely by chance during minting. Then there is the matter of transitional errors, because some believe a tiny handful of 1997 pennies were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations, such as dimes or foreign coins, making them lighter, smaller, or having unusual metallic compositions, and such off-metal strikes are so extremely rare that when one is authenticated, it becomes headline-worthy news in the numismatic community, driving auction values through the roof. And speaking of composition, while most 1997 pennies were made of copper-plated zinc, there have been whispers of experimental pieces or accidental strikes using leftover copper planchets from earlier decades, and if such a coin surfaces and is proven genuine, it could easily be valued in the millions all on its own, because the copper content is not only historically significant, but also represents a production anomaly that simply should not exist, and when collectors find something that should not exist, they are willing to pay more than most people can imagine to own it. Beyond the errors themselves, we must also consider the condition of the coin, because even a rare error holds limited appeal if the coin is heavily worn or damaged. But when a 1997 penny with an error surfaces in near-perfect mint-state condition, preserved with sharp detail and original luster, the combination of rarity, beauty, and history creates an irresistible trifecta that justifies sky-high prices, and in the case of the fabled $16 million penny, it is believed to be a perfect storm of factors: a major error such as a double die or off-metal strike, combined with pristine condition, extreme rarity, and the kind of provenance that assures authenticity beyond any doubt, making it the single most valuable 1997 penny ever discovered. Now, many people ask how it is even possible that a penny could ever command such a value, and the answer lies in the psychology of collectors, because when something is so rare that it becomes legendary, and when it represents not only a mistake but also a tangible piece of history frozen in metal, it ceases to be just a coin and transforms into an artifact, and artifacts are priceless to the right buyer. For instance, imagine 2 billion pennies minted in 1997, and out of that staggering number perhaps only a handful were struck with the right kind of error, and of those only 1 or 2 may have survived in pristine condition. The odds of finding such a coin are so astronomical that owning one becomes like holding a winning lottery ticket, and just like in art or sports memorabilia, rarity drives demand, demand drives price, and price creates legends. So when one of these coins enters the auction house, bidders from around the world come forward, each wanting to claim it as their own, pushing the price higher and higher until it reaches heights that shock even seasoned experts. And while $16 million may sound like an exaggeration, history has shown us time and again that coins with the right combination of rarity and error can fetch sums once thought impossible. And beyond auctions, these coins become part of whispered stories passed between collectors, tales of discoveries in pocket change, flea markets, or old piggy banks where ordinary people stumble across life-changing treasures without realizing what they hold, because for every collector who spends decades searching, there is a lucky individual who happens to spot something unusual on a coin and later learns it is worth millions. And this is what keeps the excitement alive, the possibility that such treasures are still out there waiting to be found. So when you look at your spare change and see a 1997 penny, don't dismiss it too quickly. Examine it carefully under good light, look for doubling on the letters, check the centering of the design, study the surface for cracks, blobs, or unusual metal composition, because you never know if you might be holding a piece of history worth far more than a penny. You might even be staring at a coin that could change your life forever, because the world of coin collecting is filled with such stories, stories of life-changing finds. And the 1997 penny valued at $16 million is one of the greatest examples of how a tiny mistake at the mint can lead to unimaginable fortune for someone lucky enough to discover it. And the beauty of it is that these coins are still out there in circulation, in collections, in drawers, in rolls of pennies waiting to be searched, meaning the opportunity is always present for the next big discovery. And as long as that possibility exists, the legend of the 1997 penny will continue to captivate people all over the world, reminding us that value is not always tied to what something was intended to be, but often to the quirks, flaws, and accidents that make it unique. So the next time you come across a penny from 1997, remember this story, take a closer look, because you might just have a fortune in your hands. And with that, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of numismatic wonders, where ordinary coins become extraordinary treasures. And if you love hearing about these incredible stories of value, history, and the thrill of the hunt, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more amazing tales of coins worth big money that could still be hiding in your change today. Next, the 2017 D1 cent coin, a piece that might seem completely ordinary to anyone who sees it in their change, but in reality, due to specific errors and minting mistakes, has been valued at an astonishing $0.73 million, a figure that captures the imagination of collectors, investors, and historians alike. And what makes this coin truly mesmerizing is not just its age or its face value, but the series of striking errors and variations that elevate it from common circulation to the upper echelon of numismatic treasures. So let's begin this journey together by first considering why errors in coins matter so much, why they happen, and why they transform an otherwise ordinary cent into a piece of history worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because at its core, the value of a rare coin is tied to a combination of rarity, demand, historical significance, and above all, the mistakes that make it stand apart from millions of others minted in the same year. And the 2017 D1 cent coin is a perfect example of this phenomenon. Minted in Denver during a year of massive production when billions of pennies rolled off the presses, the idea that one of these could be worth nearly $750,000 might sound unbelievable, but the key lies in the fascinating world of mint errors, such as double die obverse, die clashes, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and misaligned dies, all of which can create unusual, striking, and highly collectible variations that transform a penny into a numismatic gem. And when we talk about the 2017 D penny, the most valuable ones are those that show prominent doubling on the obverse, where Lincoln's profile, his eye, his lips, or even parts of the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" appear double due to die misalignment during striking. And collectors go wild for such coins because they are so visually striking, with some even showing doubling on the reverse where the shield design reveals blurred or shifted lines, making the coin not only unique but also a conversation piece that instantly stands out to trained eyes. And then we also have examples of off-center strikes, where the penny was not seated properly in the coining chamber and so parts of the design are missing, leaving blank curved areas of copper-plated zinc exposed, sometimes up to 50% off-center. And these dramatic errors are highly desirable. The more extreme the error, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially when both the date and mint mark are still visible, because that allows authentication and ensures that the coin can be definitively tied to the 2017 D minting. And then there are broad strike errors, where the collar that normally constrains the coin during striking malfunctions, causing the penny to spread wider and flatter than normal, making it look like a strange oversized version of itself, which again excites collectors because of the rarity of such minting mishaps. And even smaller errors like die cracks, cuds, or misaligned dies add layers of uniqueness, where cracks in the die leave raised lines across Lincoln's face or the shield, or cuds create lumps of extra metal at the edges where parts of the die broke off. And these small details, when present, can dramatically boost the value of a coin. And in the case of the 2017 D penny, certain dramatic examples with clear visible errors have achieved appraised values reaching into the hundreds of thousands, culminating in the legendary estimate of 73 cents million for an extraordinary specimen combining multiple errors, a once-in-a-lifetime rarity that explains why collectors are willing to pay such enormous sums. And part of the allure is also psychological, because while billions of ordinary pennies exist, knowing that one tiny fraction of them carries such incredible monetary worth ignites both curiosity and desire, turning everyday pocket change into a potential lottery ticket for anyone lucky enough to find one. And this drives people to check their coins, study every detail under magnification, and compare their pennies to known error types in hopes of discovering hidden fortune. And when you think about it, it's a beautiful fusion of history, economics, and chance, because the 2017 D penny was never intended to be valuable beyond its 1 cent face value, yet through human imperfection in minting, it ascended into the realm of treasures, and beyond the specific errors themselves. Another factor that makes such coins incredibly valuable is condition, because professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins not just for their rarity and errors but also for their preservation, with mint state examples showing full luster, sharp detail, and no circulation wear commanding exponentially higher prices than circulated pieces. So when a 2017 D penny with dramatic doubling or an off-center strike appears in gem uncirculated condition, the value skyrockets, explaining how such astronomical figures like 73 cents million are possible. And it's worth noting that the market for such coins is dynamic, shaped by collector demand, auction results, and the thrill of competition, where passionate bidders drive prices ever higher in pursuit of owning a piece of numismatic history. And if we take a step back, we can see that the story of the 2017 D penny is not just about money but about the celebration of mistakes, where imperfections create beauty and value, reminding us that sometimes it's the flaws that make something extraordinary. And when we dive into reported cases, we find examples where collectors have indeed uncovered rare 2017 D pennies showing dramatic doubled dies, with doubled lettering in United States of America, and in the shield stripes, coins that have sold at premium auctions for thousands upon thousands of dollars, steadily climbing in recognition as some of the most desirable modern era coins. And while not every era coin will reach the mythical $0.73 million valuation, the fact that such potential exists continues to stoke excitement and ensures that coin roll hunting and careful pocket change examination remain beloved hobbies for enthusiasts across the world, because each penny becomes a potential ticket to unexpected fortune. And the 2017 D penny, with its unique blend of modernity and rarity, captures the essence of why people collect coins in the first place: the pursuit of hidden stories, the thrill of discovery, and the chance that something ordinary can be extraordinary. And when we think about the possibilities, it's not only dramatic errors but also transitional planchet mistakes that sometimes occur, where a coin might be struck on the wrong metal blank, for example a 2017 D penny struck on a dime planchet or on an unplated zinc blank, creating strange and highly desirable anomalies. And though such cases are exceedingly rare, their existence fuels imaginations and ensures that collectors will always check carefully. And another exciting dimension is die clashes, where dies strike together without a planchet between them, transferring ghostly outlines of the design from one die onto the other, so that when coins are struck afterward, they show faint mirrored images of Lincoln's portrait on the reverse or parts of the shield on the obverse. And these clash marks are hauntingly beautiful, making them favorites among error enthusiasts, and when preserved in top grade, they too command massive premiums, all adding to the mystique of the 2017 D penny. And the broader lesson here is that coins serve as miniature time capsules, reflecting not only the technical process of minting but also the imperfections of human and mechanical systems. And those imperfections, when rare enough, transform a coin into a treasure. And so the 2017 D penny stands today as a beacon for collectors, a modern marvel in the world of era coins, proof that even in our high-tech era of mass production, mistakes still happen, and those mistakes can yield staggering value, making this coin worth $0.73 million in cases where the right combination of errors, condition, and demand converge. And that is why collectors and treasure hunters will always look closely, always inspect their change, and always hold on to the belief that fortune can be found in the smallest and most unexpected of places. And with that, I encourage you all to take another look at the pennies you carry, because who knows, the next great treasure might just be sitting in your pocket. And if you enjoyed this journey into the extraordinary world of the 2017 D 1-cent coin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories about rare coins and hidden fortunes, and share this with friends and fellow collectors who would love to discover how something so small can hold such incredible value. Last, we are going to explore in incredible depth the story of the 2015 1-cent coin that under certain rare and extraordinary circumstances has been valued at as much as $1.5 million because of its unique errors and mistakes, and we'll look closely at the many reasons why such a tiny copper-colored coin, often overlooked, has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters around the world. So settle in as we begin this journey into history, minting technology, collector psychology, market trends, and the kinds of freak accidents and rare conditions that can transform an everyday penny into a priceless artifact. And as we move through this long discussion, I want you to imagine holding a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about spending on a piece of candy, but instead it holds the potential to change your life. Because that is the allure of error coins, and that is why the 2015 1-cent coin is so captivating. And to start with, let us consider the context of 2015, when the United States Mint was striking billions of pennies, each designed with the Lincoln Shield reverse that had been introduced in 2010 to honor the Union that President Abraham Lincoln fought to preserve, and the obverse still bearing Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Lincoln first used in 1909. Yet with such mass production comes inevitable flaws, and while most mistakes are caught during quality control, occasionally some slip through, and when they do they can become numismatic legends. And one of the most fascinating aspects of the 2015 penny is that there are multiple varieties of errors known to exist, each contributing to the lore of this coin's potential multi-million-dollar valuation. So let us unpack them one by one, beginning with double dies, which occur when the coin die itself has been impressed with design details twice at slightly different angles, resulting in noticeable doubling on letters or numbers. And on some 2015 cents, collectors have reported seeing doubling, particularly on the word liberty, the date, or on the motto "I in God we trust," which creates a striking effect where the letters appear to have shadows or ghost images. And while minor doubling is relatively common and not worth a great deal, strong examples that are crisp and dramatic can command astonishing prices at auction, especially when they are on a recent coin like the 2015 penny, because modern double dies are generally less common than older ones. So a strong double die on a 2015 cent has been rumored to fetch 6 or even 7 figures when preserved in pristine mint state condition. And another error that makes the 2015 cent remarkable is the off-center strike, which happens when a blank planchet is not properly aligned with the dies during the striking process, leading to coins where part of the design is missing and part of the blank surface remains visible. And depending on how far off-center the strike is, these coins can range in value from a few dollars to thousands. But when an off-center strike is paired with a dramatic effect that still shows the full date and mint mark, collectors are willing to pay extreme premiums. And for the 2015 penny, examples of extreme off-center strikes have been documented that are both visually stunning and historically rare, contributing to the lore of million-dollar valuations. And then we must talk about wrong planchet errors, where a coin is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination, such as a dime, nickel, or foreign coin planchet. And in 2015 the US Mint was producing multiple denominations simultaneously, so it is within the realm of possibility that a Lincoln cent design could have been struck on a copper-nickel dime planchet, resulting in a thinner, lighter coin with a silvery appearance, or even on a foreign coin blank. And these mistakes are some of the most coveted in the numismatic world, because they combine rarity, intrigue, and the thrill of a minting accident that should never have happened. And collectors have paid astronomical sums for such pieces, especially when they are authenticated by top grading services. So the possibility that a 2015 penny exists on the wrong planchet, and that such an example could reach valuations of over $1 million, is not far-fetched at all. And then we have transitional errors, where coins are struck using the wrong metal composition, often during years of change. And while 2015 was not an official year of transition, there are always the slim chances of leftover planchets from previous years being mistakenly used. So if a 2015 penny were to surface struck on a 95% copper planchet like those discontinued in 1982 instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition, it would be a one-of-a-kind treasure commanding extraordinary value. And already collectors have seen older coins with such transitional errors sell for hundreds of thousands, so it is easy to see how a unique 2015 copper cent could push into the $1 million realm. And aside from metal composition, there are also die break errors, known in the hobby as cuds, where part of the die cracks or breaks off during striking, leaving a raised blob of metal on the finished coin. And while many cuds are small and not terribly valuable, dramatic cuds that obscure major parts of the design are highly collectible. And when combined with modern dates like 2015, they become even more desirable because they stand out starkly against the uniformity of machine precision we expect today. And we cannot ignore misaligned die strikes, broad strikes, multiple strikes, and even blank planchet errors, all of which contribute to the mystique of rare error coins. But what makes the 2015 cent especially fascinating is that any of these errors, when paired with exceptional eye appeal, rarity, and the right circumstances in the auction market, could catapult the coin's value into the 7-figure range. And part of that has to do with collector psychology, because collectors are not only buying the metal and the mistake, they are buying the story, the sense that they own something unique. And the 2015 penny with a spectacular error tells a story of a modern mint accident slipping past the most sophisticated quality controls, a symbol of imperfection in a world of mass-produced uniformity. And as collectors and investors chase after such rarities, the prices climb, sometimes to unbelievable heights. So when we hear that a 2015 1-cent coin has been valued at $1.5 million, it is not just the physical characteristics of the coin that matter but also the demand it generates among wealthy collectors eager to outbid each other for bragging rights. And to understand this better, we should look at past auction results, where coins like the 1955 double die cent, the 1943 copper cent, and the 1969 double die cent have sold for hundreds of thousands to over $1 million, and those coins set the precedent that modern coins with spectacular errors can indeed fetch life-changing sums, and so the 2015 penny fits right into that lineage of legends, standing as the newest member of an exclusive club of American error coins that bridge the gap between everyday pocket change and priceless treasure. And while the exact errors that might make a 2015 penny worth $1.5 million are still the subject of speculation and ongoing discovery, the possibilities we have outlined, doubled dies, off center strikes, wrong planchets, transitional metals, dramatic cuts, and more, all contribute to the potential for extraordinary valuations. And when you combine this with the fact that billions of pennies were struck in 2015, meaning that most people might assume they are worthless, it makes the hunt even more thrilling. Because buried among the countless ordinary examples could be the one spectacular rarity that changes everything, and this is why collectors meticulously check their change. Examine rolls of coins from the bank, and invest in magnifying glasses and reference books, because the dream of finding $1 million penny is real, and in the case of the 2015 cent, it is a dream that has already been realized for those lucky enough to discover rare mistakes. So as we wrap up this extensive exploration, keep in mind that the true magic of coin collecting lies not only in the history and artistry but also in the thrill of discovery. And if you are ever holding a 2015 penny, take the time to really look at it, study the details, the lettering, the alignment, the weight, and the color, because who knows, you might just be holding a fortune in your hand without realizing it. And that is why the 2015 1-cent coin is one of the most exciting modern rarities in circulation today, reminding us all that treasure still exists in the most unexpected places. And before you go, make sure you stay connected with us for more incredible stories of coins, currency, and hidden treasures from history and today, because you never know when the next coin in your pocket might be worth $1 million or more. So keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your passion for discovery strong. And if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to join us again for more fascinating explorations into the world of numismatics.